Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video, comic book edition. These are all the comic books that were waiting for me this last 4 weeks. Since I'm on vacation, I actually was able to go on New Comic Book Wednesday. Me and my girlfriend just made some time so that the store manager can get everything in order and split it into everyone that has a pull list. So we have here the comic books that are released for the last 3 weeks and the just newly released books for this week. So yeah, I'll try not to spoil that much for you guys because I tend to do that. But yeah, lots of good reading, lots of series that are going to end for me, some that might continue. So we'll look into that. But first off, we have here... I still try to organize them in alphabetical order because that's how my collection goes. And I still think of this as Amazing Spider-Man, even though it's the Superior Spider-Man. But we have here Superior Spider-Man, issue 13, concluding the slaying of the Spider Slayer story arc, where J. Jonah Jameson asks Spider-Man to fulfill Alistair Smythe's death sentence. And Spy the Ock teams up with the Lizard to try to stop cybernetically enhanced Scorpion, Vulture, and Boomerang. Needless to say, Spider-Man goes ahead and kills Alistair Smythe, or appears to actually kill him. You never know with comic books. A character seems to be dead and then he comes back. But he does indeed carry out the execution of the Spider Slayer. Then he blackmailed J. Jonah Jameson, saying that Spider-Man recorded him giving him the okay to kill Smythe. So he blackmails him into giving him access to the raft, so he can create his new base of operations, calling it Spider Island 2. So yeah, Doc Ock's already falling into the supervillain status again. He's building these robots. He says he's gonna redesign the costume. So yeah. Definitely going into the supervillain status, and so now even Jameson is against him. And we have Superior Spider-Man issue 14, where in a new costume, Spy the Ock goes after Wilson Fisk and the Hand, and sends him away into exile. But Spy the Ock, what he thinks he now has control of everything, but it's revealed that Norman Osborn now, since there's no gang rivals to himself, Norman Osborn has now set himself up as the Goblin King of New York. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to so much Spy the Ock going evil. I am interested in seeing how they handle the confrontation between Spy the Ock and the Green Goblin. See if maybe Doc Ock can stop him, and that's what finally makes him a hero. Or that's what brings back Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man. So we'll see. Picked up Venom issue 38. Venom is still trying to deal with that hit that was put on his head in last issue. He's still trying to get help from his reporter friend, who seems to have gotten whiff of his secret identity. Also, Jack-o'-lantern comes back into Flash Thompson's life, and part of the symbiote goes into a neighbor girl this girl that was a neighbor from for Flash Thompson, and she gets infected with the Venom symbiote. So that's an interesting twist. So yeah, Venom changing a lot of things, and they brought back Jack-o'-lantern. This is Avengers issue 16. Since I just got back from the comic book store, I haven't had a chance to read it, but it's a prelude to Infinity. This is a gripe for me with Marvel because they just finished Age of Ultron. You're just sorting out all the effects and things that series cost in the Marvel Universe, and already you're going to release a new one. I think it's a 8-issue miniseries. It's written by Jonathan Hickman, so I'm looking forward to that. And it also tie-ins with New Avengers, which unfortunately I'm not reading. So I haven't read this one. I don't know what happens here, but I'm not happy that Marvel's releasing a big event so close to the last big event that they had. So Picked up Batman issue 22, continuing the Year Zero storyline. Nothing else to say about the team of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Awesome. Just awesome. Picked up Batman Annual issue 2, which is a very loose tie-in to Zero Year, but it features an adventure in Arkham Asylum. Written by Scott Snyder, but doesn't seem to tie into that much. It's sold like a tie into Zero Year, but doesn't seem to involve that much. Picked up the last issue of Batman Incorporated. Grant Morrison's run on Batman ends with issue 13. I don't really know where this fits. Is it part of the New 52? Is it not? Because this is a big spoiler if you haven't read the issue, but they kill Talia al Ghul. They bring back the original Batwoman, Kathy Kane, I think her name is. Bruce Wayne is brought into question by Commissioner Gordon, and the Batman appears to be dead. But by the end of the issue, Ra's al Ghul wants revenge against Batman, and he reveals this nursery full of Damian clones. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, if Batman Incorporated is part of the New 52, then they might follow up on that. If this is a remnant of the old universe, they're not going to touch this. But it's an interesting end to Grant Morrison's run. So yeah, at least it wasn't that crazy. But Batman Incorporated officially ends with this issue. So no more Batman Inc. Picked up Batman and Catwoman issue 22. The Batman and book has become a team-up book as he's going through all the stages of grief over the loss of Damian. I don't know how long this is going to last. The only one he hasn't teamed up with yet is Dick Grayson. But this is good. Peter J. Tomasi's doing, and Patrick Gillising, that team, I really like what they're doing. Here we have Catwoman. And I hope this title keeps going, this creative team, I hope it still works on this book, because it's pretty cool. Picked up New Guardians issue 22, the last New Guardians issue I'm going to pick up, where he's dealing with that remnant thing that's revealed, and he seems to turn off lantern powers. So yeah, I'm dropping New Guardians. Picked up Justice League issue 22, which starts off the Trinity War. That has a battle between Justice League Dark, Justice League of America, and Justice League. An evil spirit possesses Superman, and he's the one that causes the conflict, or starts the conflict for all the teams. So, promises to be very interesting, but I'm only going to pick up Justice League. I can't afford to pick up the rest of the tie-ins and the other books that this storyline crosses over, so I'm going to miss a good chunk of this. Picked up Simpsons Comics issue 204, which I unfortunately have not had a chance to read. Like I said, I'm recording this just as I got back from the comic book store, so I don't know what it's about. But I like the cover with all the Simpson men burping there. Oh, and I did not see this. And it also promotes the new, this year's Treehouse of Horror, issue 19. I love the Treehouse of Horror. Comes out in September, so that's going to be cool. Picked up Superman 22, which introduces into the New 54 Queen Bee. And apparently she's going to have a big fight with Hector Hammond, so that's building up to something. Also picked up Superman Annual number 2, which is a little bit of false advertising, because it features Brainiac on the cover, but Brainiac doesn't really make an appearance here. What happens is that remnants of his psyche or his essence start infecting people in Metropolis, so they turn green. It's like the what happened with Brainiac after the John Byrne reboot, that Milton Fine got infected with the Brainiac consciousness and he started growing green. It's kind of similar to that. If you haven't read that, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it ties into what's happening in the Superman books. And I liked it because it's written by Scott Lobel and with art by Dan Jurgens, and I really like Dan Jurgens' art. So yeah, that was an interesting Picked up Superman Unchained issue 2. Haven't read it, so I don't know what happens here, but I'm hoping it's good. I think I'm going to keep collecting Superman Unchained just because of the creative team. Once they're gone, then I'll drop this title. But picked up Smallville Season 11, issue 15, continuing the Argo storyline. There was another Smallville special release, but that one featured Lois Lane teaming up with Lana Lang. I didn't pick it up. I don't know if I should add it to my pull list later on. But this one, Earth in the future of the Just Legion of Superheroes. It's kind of weird because they infused Doomsday that was introduced in Smallville with the they infused Doomsday and the DNA of an unborn Kryptonian child when the Krypton clones were on Earth, and it makes him more powerful, and now the Legion has to deal with Doomsday. I'm really glad to see the monster back. They also hinted that they're going to introduce Doomsday into the New 52, which I think is awesome because I've always been a fan of the Doomsday monster, and I really am happy to see him back in the comic books. Picked up Superman Batman issue 2. I think I'm gonna keep giving this storyline another chance. I'll pick up issue 3 because they sent the very young versions of Superman and Batman into the Earth 2, which is gonna be interesting because I don't know how they did that. Supergirl and Robin came into the New 52 universe timeline 5 years before Superman started his career, so I don't know how they pulled this off, that they sent the Superman Batman from the New 52 into Earth 2, since by then the Earth 2 Superman Batman should be dead. It's very confusing, but it's intriguing, so I'll pick up issue 3. I'm still not a big fan of the artwork, though. Picked up Uncanny Avengers issue 10, where the 4 Horsemen of Death, Daken, Banshee, the Sentry, and the Reaper are going after the heroes, and yeah, this is really cool. That you have another great rematch between the Sentry and Thor, but this is the Sentry. There's no Void involved here. Daken goes after Wolverine. Big issue, and I really like it. I really like what Rick Remender is doing with Uncanny Avengers. So that's a really cool read. Picked up Uncanny X-Men issue 8. Have not read it, so yeah. The only cool thing about this is the artwork by Chris Bachalo. The writing by Michael Bendis hasn't been bad, but hasn't been that good. Picked up Uncanny X-Men issue 9. Also have not read it, but they introduced this a couple of issues ago, where Dazzler was offered a spot as agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's an interesting new take on the character. I hope that works out well, and just not some random thing that's going to be forgotten later on. This book came out one each week, but again, huge fan of What If stories, so picked up issue 2 of What If Avengers vs. X-Men, where Magneto is teaching Hope, and then they're trying to get the Phoenix Force. And in issue 3, Hope does get a hold of the Phoenix, but before she actually gets the proper training that she needs, so she's losing control of the Phoenix. And she declares that she's going to wipe out humanity and the whole world and start everything fresh and get rid of everything. But by issue 4, Magneto takes... Hope has a moment of weakness, and Magneto absorbs the power of the Phoenix, and he destroys the world. So, yeah, this What If was interesting because I love What If stories, but if you read the original miniseries, some of the things that happen don't quite click. It's a parallel world, so that I think that's understandable, but yeah, that was weird. Picked up Witchblade 168. Digging this. This is part 2 of Absolute Corruption, where all the little subplots that were introduced into the Witchblade comic are starting to come together and basically explode in Sarah Pacina's face. So, big fan of Witchblade. Picked up Artifacts number 29. Have not read it, and it's not written by the regular writer. And last issue wasn't announced as the last issue, so I'm guessing this is just a filler book. But it focuses on Tom Judge and his time in hell. So, yeah, if Artifacts is one of those series that I don't know if I'm going to drop, so, yeah. Picked up Wolverine issue 6, and Wolverine is trying to stop these things that are taking over people's minds, and it has something to do with the microverse. And Wolverine is able to stop them, saves a whole bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, but I'm not going to mention it until I show the next issue. Issue 7 of Wolverine. Wolverine is able to stop the microverse thing, and before he is totally defeated, he takes away Wolverine's healing factor. Wolverine was shot with an empty bullet in the first couple of issues of this series, and that had a sleeper agent that took away Wolverine's healing factor. Not the first time this has happened, and this is obviously a fallout from the Wolverine movie, where in that movie, Wolverine, he also loses his healing factor. So this is not the first time that this has happened to Wolverine, where he loses his healing factor. He lost it when Magneto ripped out his adamantium. He lost it when the High Evolutionary took away mutant powers. So, and this is being handled weird. Like, this is the first time that this has happened to Wolverine, and he doesn't know what he's gonna do with himself because he no longer can heal and everything. So again, this is not the first time that this has happened to Wolverine. The only difference is that Hank McCoy creates a serum that will stop Wolverine from dying from adamantium poisoning. So that's taken care of. But the way Wolverine's reacting to this, that he doesn't have his healing factor, is weird, considering that, again, not the first time that this has happened to him. But I'll still pick up Wolverine. No, nothing else Wolverine, because I like the covers from Alan Davis, and the writing is interesting, even though I don't agree with Wolverine's reaction in this book. Picked up Savage Wolverine, have issue 7, have not read it, but I'm looking forward to it. Seb Wells is kind of hit or miss with me, but the artwork by Joe Madureira was good last issue, so I hope he still does everything that he can do in Savage Wolverine, which is a team-up book, which, after Joe Madureira, if the next creative team isn't cool, I might drop Savage Wolverine. Picked up Wolverine and the X-Men, continuing the Hellfire Saga. Haven't read it, so I don't know what happens here. Picked up Wonder Woman issue 22, where Wonder Woman and Orion and the Queen of the Gods and the Lady and the Baby Zeus child go into New Genesis. So they introduce the new gods, and Highfather kind of looks like he got amalgamed with Big Barda. It's a very interesting look for him, but still loving Wonder Woman. That's still safe. Picked up Mega Man issue 27. I saw 2 covers of this. This cover and then this one that had a whiteout effect here. But this is part 10 of the big Worlds Collide crossover between Mega Man and Sonic. I just really like that cover. Sonic Universe issue 54. All of Team Mega Man and all of Team Sonic get together to try to stop Eggman and Wily. And then we have the conclusion in part 12 in Sonic the Hedgehog issue 251, where they also had another cover which kind of sucked. I love this cover. This cover is so cool with Supersonic and I guess Supersonic Mega Man take the fight. I didn't like how this ended because something happens and then there's a whiteout, which of course is going to continue. The follow is going to continue in each comic book, Mega Man comic book, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic Universe, but it was a big epic crossover and it ended with a whiteout. That sucked. I thought that sucked so bad, but still, I liked the big event, and I like seeing these two characters together. So yeah, I don't my only complaint about this whole thing is the ending, the whole whiteout ending. But still pretty cool. If you have a chance to, if you want to wait for the trade, that would be cool. But I definitely recommend this event. This was pretty cool. Picked up some back issues, not at the comic book store, but at some other place. Picked up Doctor Strange issue 35. Only picked it up because it's a crossover issue for Doctor Strange, for the Infinity Gauntlet, and I love the Infinity Gauntlet miniseries. So this does tie up some loose ends from the mini that I didn't know about, but I found out that issue 34 and 36 also tie into the Infinity Gauntlet. So if I ever see those issues, I'll pick them up. Because again, huge fan of the Infinity Gauntlet. Picked up Fantastic Four issue 356. Not a very key issue. Just has a meeting between the New Warriors and the Fantastic Four, and it stars the Puppet Master. But the Puppet Master is the first one that realizes that something's fishy with Alicia Masters, because she doesn't recognize him, and there's a reason for that, but I won't mention it here. But it's not a key issue, but it was still pretty cool. And this one I picked up at a swap meet. This is the paperback, softcover paperback for Green Lantern Rebirth, where Geoff Johns brought back Green Lantern, who at this time was fused with the Spectre, to bring back Green Lantern, to bring back the Green Lantern corpse, and you know, everything, set up everything back to Green Lantern. Brought back Kilowog, brought back John Stewart, Kyle Reiner, and Guy Gardner. So yeah, I already own issue 4, 5, and 6 of this 6-issue miniseries. I'm only missing the first 3, but and I prefer single issues rather than trades. But I got this for less than $1, 85 cents, and I couldn't pass it up. Again, even though I dropped Green Lantern after Geoff Johns left, the artwork by Ethan Van Sciver was pretty cool, and the story and the reintroduction of Green Lantern, well, Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, I thought was pretty cool, and for the price, I couldn't pass it up. This was pretty cool. So yeah, that was my comic book collection pickups. Lots of really cool reading. Like I said, I didn't pick up Thunderbolts. I dropped that, and Batman Inc.'s dropped. The only couple of issues that didn't release, I think they were set back, are Swamp Thing and Deadpool Kills Deadpool. But that's gonna release next week. So I really want to see that. I really want to see how those issues turn out. But yeah, like, great reading. Still gonna try to see if I can cut down on my comic book purchasing. But there's going to be a comic book expo this Saturday, and I'm hoping I can find some really good back issues for cheap, or at least get the key issues that I need to complete my my collection for a reasonably good price. That's my hope. But expect a video on that expo, and if I get a good enough haul, another video on the back issues I pick up. But like always, I like to make a recommendation of the pickups. So I'm going to go with Green Lantern Rebirth. Still a big fan of single issues, so if you can get the single issues, that's cool in my book. But if you can get the trade's also pretty awesome. I really like how Geoff Johns brought back Hal Jordan into Green Lantern, and he brought along everything, and what he did with all the different spectrums with, obviously I still use that on all of my videos. And that's one, and I'm also going to recommend the Sonic and Mega Man crossover. This was pretty awesome, just to see the Mega Man and the Sonic universes come together and meet each other. That was pretty awesome, so yeah, I'm going to also recommend this. But like always, thank you so much to anyone that watched the videos. If you can leave a comment, tell me what you thought about any one of these books, or recommend, now that a bunch of I dropped some series and others ended, any recommendation that you could leave, that'd be awesome. But until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, signing out.